Love and Life in Lucknow is a book of stories published by Niyogi and written by me, Mehru Jaffer. The good news is that its electronic version is now online. And to get you interested in reading Love and Life in Lucknow, I will introduce you to some of the characters in the book. Although it is a biography of one of the most enchanting cities in the country, it is through countless colorful citizens that the story of this beloved city unfolds. Written in the first person, the voice of the protagonist may sound autobiographical, but she is not me. There is the cheeky Bano Bua, who hovers larger than life over the story. You may or may not like her. There is the mysterious barber of the bottles and the very loyal Naresh, the cycle rickshaw puller. But today, I will talk to you about Tamboli Begum, who Bano Bua suspects is none other than Tulip Blossom, mentioned by the barber of the bottles. Petal by petal, Bano Bua has unraveled the relationship between Tulip Blossom and Tamboli Begum. Tamboli is the upside down way that people here pronounce Istanbul, just like they have played around with other words and changed the name of their own city, Lucknow, to Naklau. All the four words tulip, blossom, Tamboli, and Begum have Turkic ancestry in common, concludes the very clever Bano Bua. Tamboli Begum's ancestors from Central Asia had crossed into Europe and later came to Awadh through Persia generations ago. The tulip flower grows wild in the mountains of Central Asia, and a bulb or two of the flower traveled westwards, perhaps in the pocket of horsemen galloping down mountains and towards the plains. Because the flower is shaped like a headdress, the flower gets its name from tulband, the Farsi word for a turban. There is mention of tulips in the memoirs of Babur, who brought the flower from Afghanistan to India in early 16th century. Bano Bua is happy with her find and with the way she thinks she has connected all the dots. She gives 5 minutes to Naresh to get ready and to take her to the residence of Tamboli Begum in his cycle rickshaw. Bano Bua returns home only after the Saptarshi constellation of the Big Dipper was visible in the sky, and after the first rainfall of the season had washed away discomfort suffered collectively by a city during intense heat of the summer months. Bano Bua got the address of Tamboli Begum from Miss Madhavi, who knows everyone in Lucknow. She even requested Tamboli Begum to give Bano Bua an audience. These are some of the stories that Bano Bua brought back for me about tulips and elephants from the long overdue visit to Tamboli Begum. Bano Bua arrived at Tamboli Begum's sprawling ancestral home called Tamboli Tola. She found that Tamboli Begum lives by herself in one large bedroom. The rest of the rooms, over a dozen or so, are shared with other women, together with whom she is trying to make a difference in the world. She is single and successful. She is single because she never wanted to marry anyone. Or perhaps the truth is the opposite. She is successful because she has always been the lord and master of her life. She allowed her head and heart to fulfill every potential without focus on one talent over another at the expense of another, and she has hardly ever withheld a desire. Bano Bua entered Tamboli Tola and paused in the courtyard to witness women of different age groups dressed in saris or draped in dyed cotton dupattas, talking, laughing, and engrossed in different activities in different parts of this home. In one corner, a group of women pounded different herbs into powder. Another group of women packaged the powdered spices into bags that came in different colors and size. Banobua had never seen such a happy group of so many women except in a painting by a Lucknow College of Arts and Crafts artist that has been hanging forever on one of the walls in our home. She looked elsewhere and noticed one more woman standing on the threshold of the veranda in front. When she caught Banubua's eye, she smiled and greeted her with an adab. Banobua was welcomed and asked to follow her through an inner courtyard, also abuzz with other activities like fine hand embroidery on chiffons and on muslin cloth. There were many more clusters of women who were busy knitting while others worked on sewing machines. As her polite escort stopped to knock on a large wooden door, Banobua quickly peeped into the adjoining rooms, filled with children reciting poems and learning to read and write not just Alif, Be, Pe, but also A, B, and C. When the door in front of her finally opened, the already overawed Banobua found herself staring at a smiling Tamboli Begum. Such roo-baroo proximity with Tamboli Begum made Banobua nervous, but Tamboli Begum was used to the effect that her presence has on people, especially those who meet her for the first time. She stepped forward to make friends. There are many men in this household as well, but they are busy in the kitchen. They tend to the garden, or you can spy them plumbing or repairing the electricity, said Tamboli Begum. After having made that important announcement, she invited Banobua into her inner chamber. The outer room was decorated with shelves holding lamps in the shape of the tulip flower. A many-hued chandelier in similar shape was suspended down the middle of the ceiling. Watching Banobua admire ware, placed on several racks, Tamboli Begum laughed loudly. Banobua looked at her in embarrassment. Today the world thinks that tulips are from Holland. Ha 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 ha! Tulips grow wild in the Central Asian mountain range of the Pamirs. The flower was introduced to Europe only in the 17th century. Around 1633, the flower became so precious that it was used like money. For a basket of tulip bulbs, it was possible to buy a house in Europe. When Europeans had lost their mind in collective tulip mania, the flower followed the path of Turkic warriors employed by Persian rulers who conquered European and Persian lands to make a home far away from Central Asia in modern-day Turkey. The young woman who had escorted Banobua to Tamboli Begum had quietly left. Do not believe what is whispered about me in the city and what is written about me in newspapers and magazines, Tamboli Begum advised Banobua, offering her to sit on a chair that faced her own. The media does not have the patience to find out who I am. Reporters come to me when they hear that I have worked in a film with a famous star actor or director. The questions they ask me are about the celebrities I know, not about me. They are not interested in me. They are interested only in celebrities who are out of reach for them. The media says that I am a witch, a magician, and I enjoy supernatural powers. What rubbish! All of it is untrue. I am nothing, but at the same time, I am everything. Now you tell me, what makes you believe that I can find a groom for your girl? If she wants a groom, she will find one. And if she is unable to do so, so what? Your job is not to make the one you love feel inadequate in life just because she is not able to fulfill your dream. Please let her be. Your only job in life is to take care of yourself and then attend to whoever is with you at that particular point in time. What you don't have in life is not worth the fret. Now, have you had enough? Do you want to leave now? Or do you want to know who I am and where I come from? Questioned Tamboli Begum, her henna red hair shimmering in the afternoon light and her high cheekbones, inherited from Tartar ancestors, aglow like the sun about to set. Banu Bua could not take her eyes away from Tamboli Begum and wanted her to go on talking. My complexion is pale, but my ancestors were dark skinned, in fact, very dark skinned. My Nana resembled a Nubian because hundreds of years ago, one harassed Nubian somewhere in the northern part of Africa had jumped into the river Nile to swim away from all his troubles on land. In his favor was his youth and a talisman in the shape of an elephant given to him by his grandmother. This he had clutched tight in one fist through high tide and man swallowing whirlpools. In fact, the talisman had helped the fleeing Nubian to overcome deadly rocks and life-threatening rapids. He was able to ride on the back of killer crocodiles and use the Egyptian cobra to pull him upstream till he was dropped by the Nile one day into the more friendly flow of the Mediterranean Sea. The sun, sand, and wind of the wondrous new surroundings revived his breath. Life on the coast of the sea was fruitful for the Nubian. Although no longer just Nubian, his descendants of competing complexions dotted the earth. Some went on to rule over the fish in the sea, and others mastered birds in the sky. A few centuries later, one of his descendants was seen flaunting a chain with a silver cross around his neck, which was no longer as dark as ebony. But in all these centuries, the elephant talisman had never left the body of any Nubian from this family. When medieval inquisitions in the name of heaven made life hell for human beings in Europe, the Nubian took refuge somewhere, from where he was kidnapped and taught to be a successful pirate. When he tired of living only on the sea, he escaped to a life on land and befriended a Muslim trader heading towards Istanbul. The two turned their back on the dark continent in search of light in the east. On the way, they shared such great stories that they fell in love with each other. The sheer power of their love led them through an adventurous journey filled with ecstasies and agony into fields lined with endless tulip flowers. Here, cradled in one of the blossoms in deep red, a Banu was born to them. One day, this African, European, Semitic, Christian, Muslim, Turkic, Indian Banu bumped into a Nawab from Lucknow on a pretty street at Istanbul's Sultan Ahmad Square. It was love at first sight, and a wedding soon followed. When the couple returned to Lucknow, the groom's mother wanted to know if the Banu was a Shia Muslim or not. The answer was little more than a shrug that made the mother-in-law furious. But she still organized festivities that lasted an entire month in the hope of a grandson. Instead, Tamboli Begum was born to the newlyweds in Lucknow, sometime in the second quarter of the last century. See that one there? Tamboli Begum pointed to a tiny artifact in one corner of the cupboard. Yes, Tamboli Begum, I do see it. Do you mean that Ganesha there? Questioned Banu Bua. Ganesha to you, But Kush, the Nubian to me, smiled Tamboli Begum, allowing Bano Bua to take her leave after having enjoyed several cups of tea and some samosas with her. As Banu Bua prepared to leave, Tamboli Begum asked one of her girls to gift her a bag. Take this bag of samosas and share them with all the arrogant people around you. Tell them that potatoes that make the filling of a samosa so mouth-watering came from southern Peru and faraway Bolivia. Tell them who say that the potato is theirs and garlic is ours, that most of the ingredients in a samosa are from outside the region of South Asia. Those who say that saffron is theirs and green is ours, that India is theirs and Pakistan is ours, must know that the original cultivation of onions is claimed by several civilizations, including China, Egypt, and Iran. Chilies are from Mexico, garlic from Central Asia, China, and Siberia. While South Asia introduced ginger and South India taught the world to use turmeric, coriander was once the main ingredient in Greek medicine. The yummy crust of the samosa is made from wheat. Humans first made a delicious meal of the grain around the Mediterranean coast only. Salt is from different parts of the earth and is responsible for the rise and fall of empires worldwide. The art of deep frying food is a skill learned from the Egyptians. Ask all those who believe in a clash and not in the continuity of cultures if they are even aware that there would be no samosa without the samsa, a popular snack all over Central Asia, except that the samsa is a refined wheat flour preparation and is stuffed with minced mutton. I had ordered a samsa once on a street in Tashkent in modern-day Uzbekistan. As I waited for this ancestor of my beloved samosa to bake in its own fat in a clay oven on the roadside, I thought that there would be no samosa without a samsa, just like there would be no you without me and no me without you. Now tears rolled down Tamboli Begum's face. She found it difficult to go on talking about unity in times of such divisiveness. In a stern voice that quivered, she requested Banu Bua to go home. Tamboli Begum wanted Banu Bua to hurry back home before the next cloud burst on the first day of the monsoon season made it difficult for her to commute through the very slushy, muddy, and potholed roads of present-day Lucknow. Thank you so much for listening, and please pick up a copy of Love and Life in Lucknow, or order it online and read it online and let me know what you think. Thank you.